Very good morning, dear children. Dear children, we are starting the next chapter of history. That is a new book. You have sixth chapter: weavers, iron smelters, and factory owners. So, children, if you see the figure first, you just see the trading ships which are on the port of Surat in the 17th century. Surat in Gujarat on the west coast of India was, children, we have discussed in the previous chapter that it was the most important ports of Indian Ocean that time, Indian Ocean trade. The Dutch, English trading ships they began using this port from the early 17th century. But its importance declined in the 18th century. And what was the reason? Because they shifted their port towards their presidencies. They made three presidencies: Bombay, Madras, and Kolkata. Fine. Now, see, children, this chapter is going to tell you about the craft and industries of India during the British rule, and going to focus on two industries, and those are textile and iron and steel industry. Now, children, these industries, they were very important in the industrial revolution in the modern world. Mechanized means production done by machine. So, mechanized production of cotton textile, it made Britain the foremost industrial nation in the 19th century. It became very popular in that. And when its steel and iron and steel industry, it started growing from 1850s. Now after that, Britain, it was known as the workshop of the world. Fine, children. So the industrialization in Britain, it has a very close connection with the conquest and colonization of India. So what is the connection between both? We are going to discuss. Now, children, you have seen in chapter number 2 that the English East India Company, why it came to India, the main interest was to trade, and how it led to the occupation of territory, and how the pattern of trade changed over the decades. Now, in the late 18th century, the company was buying goods in India and exporting them to England and Europe. You all have read before that they are buying things from here and they were exporting in England and Europe. They were making profits, a lot of profits they were making with this sale. Now, with the growth of industrial production, British industrialists, they began to see that India is a very vast market for their industrial products. So over the time, manufactured goods from Britain, it started coming to India. And how it affect the Indian craft and industry, the answer to this question we are going to check in this chapter, children. So, the first topic is Indian textile and the world market. So, uh, first of all, we are just going to take a look on a textile production. Fine. So, if you talk about around 1750, before the British conquered Bengal, India was India was world's largest producer of cotton textile. And children, the Indian textile was renowned for what? Two things: for the fine quality and the craftsmanship. The people here, those who were doing the craft, I mean the craftsmen, they were doing it in a very nice way, and the quality of the cloth was very fine. Now they were traded to Southeast Asia, Java, Sumatra, Penang, and in the west they were traded west and the Central Asia. Now from the 16th century, the European trading companies, they also started buying Indian textile and they were selling it in Europe. So, memories of this flourishing trade and craftsmanship of Indian weavers is preserved in many words still current. Now, there you can see many words are there which memorize us about the relation between both these. So, the English and other languages, the words are still used in other English as well as other languages. It is interesting to trace the origin of such words. So we are going to go through such words. So children, words tell us histories. So European traders, they first encouraged the fine cotton cloth from India, and how they saw this first time, where they got encountered with this fine cloth, as it was carried by the Arab merchants in Mosul. Fine, the woven textile as muslin. So malmal we call it in Hindi, and in English they call it a muslin. So it was a word acquired wide currency. Fine. So this muslin, it profited a lot, it got a lot of money. When the Portuguese first came to India, they came here for the search of spices, and children, they landed on Calicut, which is in Kerala coast in southwest India. So this cotton textile, which they took back to Europe, what they called it there along with the spices, this type of cloth was known as calico, as it suggests that the word has come up from Calicut, and subsequently calico became the general name for all cotton textiles. So for the cotton textile, they started calling the name calico. Fine. And children, there are many other words which tell us how popular were the Indian textile in the Western markets. If you see figure 3, children, you will just see the order book of East India companies, how they sent this order book to their representatives in Calcutta in 1730. And children, this order book, and this year the order, see how many what orders are there. 5,89,000 pieces of clothes they wanted as order, and 98 varieties of cotton at that time, and silk clothes. So many varieties were there, and they were also known by their common name in the European trade as piece goods. So these things were known as the piece goods, usually woven cloth pieces. That, now how long they were? They were 20 yards long and 1 yard wide. So you can see the order book here. Now, children, look at the name of different varieties of cloth in the book. You will see that order they bulk in printed cotton, like chintz. The word come from chint, and then kozazes, it comes from khassa, and bandhana, it comes from bandhani. Fine. And children, see how the chint come from the Hindi word chint. It was a cloth with small and colorful flowery designs. In 1680, they started a craze for printed Indian cotton textile in England and Europe, because they had very beautiful floral design, fine texture, and relatively cheap. That was, even the rich people in England, even the queen herself was using this type of cloth of Indian fabric. And bandhana, if you talk about, it is brightly colored printed scarf in the neck or head. And this term has derived from the word bandhana, fine, like Hindi for tying. So it was a variety of brightly colored cloth produced through a method of tying and dyeing. So tying and dyeing method was used. There were other clothes in the order book, like if you see Kasim Bazar, Patna, Calcutta, they all were there. Orissa, Charpuri. The widespread of use of such words show how popular Indian textile became in different parts of the world, children. So we will do till here only. Thank you and have a nice day.